Hello, good morning. It's early. I'm going to get my things done so I can go about my day. I've got stuff to do today again. But I am bound and determined to get this going. So today's daisies are: time is nature's way of preventing everything from happening at once. Isn't that divine? It's beautifully divine. Good morning. Good morning. Good day. It's a beautiful new beginning to a beautiful new day. Okay, so forgiving for our own good in Women's Book of Courage. And if you're a man, then just apply it however it fits you. We all have people in our lives we need to forgive for our own good. None of us has gone through life without feeling hurt in some way or another. But to harbor resentment is to clog up our own flow of love and good feelings. Forgiveness originally meant to return good treatment for ill usage. Pamela discovered the importance of forgiveness when her husband left her for her best friend. Ooh, I bet that hurt. Needless to say, she felt ill used by them both. For a while, she let feelings of hate and betrayal eat away at her, which caused her a great deal of mental anguish and didn't hurt either one of them a bit. Usually, when we're unforgiving, it's only hurting us. As she had the courage to begin forgiving, first herself for her part of the marriage failure, then her husband and friend, her whole life began to flow more freely. Her her hurt and lack of forgiveness had blinded her to the love and support she did have from her children, family, and friends. As she forgave, Pamela was able to begin healing. Lack of forgiveness clouds our ability to see the beauty in our lives and destroys our peace of mind. Carrying around hurt, disappointment, and resentment over the times we felt ill used is like wearing several coats in Hawaii. Hot, heavy, and hindering, and it's too much burden to carry. Forgiving allows us to emotionally dress so that we can enjoy the balmy breezes. Forgiveness is a process, and we need to allow ourselves to take one little step at a time. I always say it's baby steps to healing, baby steps to forgiveness, especially for yourself. Our first courageous step is to be willing to give up our hurt, which is often terribly difficult, and focus on having a true willingness to forgive. If we only pretend we've forgiven someone because we know we should, it's like candying a rotten apple. It may look good on the outside, but it's still rotten on the inside. We can activate our willingness to forgive and eventually actually be forgiving. So today, we are willing to forgive who? We are willing to forgive. Who is it that we need to forgive? We must start with ourselves, and then we forgive ourselves and anyone else that we're holding on to that's hurt us. Ooh, and tomorrow is forgiving ourselves. How divine is that? We've been working on that all month already. Every single day. It's very important to love yourself, to forgive yourself for not knowing better. So today, in the language of letting go, as we're transforming, being honest with ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship we need to maintain. The quality of that relationship will determine the quality of our other relationships. When we tell ourselves how we feel and accept our feelings, we can tell others. When we can accept what we really want and need, we will be ready to have our wants and needs met. When we can accept what we think and believe and accept what's important to us, we can relay this to others. When we learn to take ourselves seriously, others will too. When we learn to chuckle at ourselves, we will be ready to laugh with others. Instead of beating yourself up when you do something that may seem silly, instead of calling yourself stupid or saying, I'm such an idiot, the power of the word is very, very powerful. When we have learned to trust ourselves, We will be trustworthy and ready to trust. When we can be grateful for who we are, we will have achieved self-love. When we have achieved self-love and accepting our wants and needs, we will be ready to give and receive love. When we've learned to stand on our own 2 feet, we're ready to stand next to someone. Today, we will focus on having a good relationship with ourselves, to be honest with ourselves, to be our authentic self, to not hide our feelings from others is a very important step to take. Very, very important. So, in Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, let's see, it would have been four days ago that we read the intro and we started to be more patient. So, day 4, because you work on this book, Patience, we've been working on patience all week. Think of a time in your life when you finally got something for which you had to wait a long time. Remember how good it felt. Keep that feeling in mind as you wait for what you want now. So patience is a virtue. Some of us are patiently waiting to get better. We're healing. We've been through lots of stuff in our life and we need to just baby step it and be patient, knowing that there are miracles taking place in the background at all times when we can't see it. Faith is the hope for things that we cannot see, believing in things that we cannot see. So until today, we may not have known. We will realize our own worth when we accept we have permission to spend time with ourselves, where we don't have to constantly be serving others. We must serve ourselves. We must have self-love and self-care and take time to care for ourselves. Especially if you're teaching and healing, you have to ride through the waves of all the sick people that come to you, because sometimes it's very overwhelming. Here's a pretty risky proposition that is not for the faint of heart. If there's any fear, codependence, or self-denial in your being, you might as well turn the page right now. Although being afflicted by one of these aforementioned maladies makes you a prime candidate, there is no way you could participate in this awesome opportunity. Don't tempt yourself because something different might happen. It would take courage, boldness, chutzpah that you don't have yet. So go on, turn the page if you're not ready. This is for those daredevil doers who are ready to blast into orbit. You guys ready? I am. The whole plan will only take 24 hours to accomplish. The proposition is as follows. For the next 24 hours, you are to live totally for yourself. You are to be self-absorbed, self-obsessed, and self-centered. We're not talking about bragging about yourself or trying to impress other people. That's your ego. That's not your authentic self. In fact, you are not to talk to other people. For one entire day, talk to yourself. Compliment yourself. Encourage yourself. Correct yourself. Pump yourself up with descriptive words and visions of grandeur. Focus only on the things you like and want. Suspend all duties, responsibilities, and obligations to everyone else. The only thing I'd say there is that you still have to care for your children. Take care of yourself. For 24 hours, you are to nurture yourself. Soak your feet. Wash your hair. Pour some warm oil on your body and rub yourself down. Get dressed up. Take yourself out. Take a nap. What the heck? Take 2. Get naked with yourself. Write yourself a love letter. Write a letter to your inner child. It was a very powerful thing that I did in one of my classes. Pray about yourself. Do whatever you want to do with you for 24 hours. It can be a phenomenally mind-blowing experience. There is, however, one catch. It only works if you believe that you are worth the time. Until today, you may have been totally absorbed by the people, duties, responsibilities, and obligations of your life. Just for today, Absorb yourself in yourself. Oftentimes, we are so busy all our lives caring for others, especially women, that it literally makes us sick to the point where we're disabled, where we eventually get so worn down that others have to care for us. It makes us sick, literally, to not care for self and put all others above ourselves. So when you're finally where you're made to be still and you don't have a choice and you have to care for yourself, sometimes it's very hard to accept that people have to care for you now. But sometimes the caretakers need taken care of to be nursed back to health. So today we are devoted to being self absorbed, self obsessed, and self centered. Not to the point that you're serving your ego, though. There's a fine line there. There's a fine line there. So we're going to hop back to forgiveness. We are now willing to forgive ourselves for acting like nothing when the truth is we are everything. You are being called accountable, not because you've done anything wrong, but because you are divine. You may have allowed yourself to believe that you are mediocre, meaningless, average, or usual. You are not. Your divinity, your nobility, your divine self is on the verge of bursting forward into the light of the world, and you will be held accountable for it and to it. You are now in the process of a massive communal soul surgery. Hallelujah. All the souls on the face of the planet are being opened in order to be healed, in order to have their divinity revealed and their divine power restored. There will be no more excuses, rationales, and reasons for not shining in the light of truth and standing in the power of your divinity. The time is now. The process has begun. The soul surgery process is a spiritual process. It is a process grounded in truth. It is a process of accountability and responsibility. The most challenging part of the process is that you will have to walk in the depths of all that you have done in order to heal it. You will have to tell yourself the truth. Once this is done, you will have to choose how many you intend to demonstrate the magnificence of your divinity from this point forward. It is useless, absolutely futile, to try to diminish yourself any longer. You know what to do. Now it is all up to you. Now, you divine creature, you, it is up to you to make the new models for the way you intend to live. From this point on, focus on you, for you, about you, healing little you. Once you recognize yourself as the divine being that you are, it will be easy to forgive yourself for all the time you wasted trying to be anything else. Until today, you may have been waiting for something to change. Just for today, work on changing yourself and your ideas about yourself. Today, we are devoted to stepping into our divinity, our power, and our true position in life. We are very powerful divine beings, spiritual beings having a human experience. Now, if you think about HUE-MAN, we are light workers, human, half man, half light, half man, half God, half divinity, creator. You are the creator of your life. And your intuition, your inner guide, your comforter, your healer, it's in you. You have to heal so you can awaken it and stand in your truth and know who you are. Create a refuge. A refuge corner can be a powerful part of your self-care strategy. It's a warm and welcoming place. This is inner peace for busy people. It's a warm and welcoming place where the demands of life recede and stillness takes over. Like the eye of a hurricane, your refuge space is perpetually calm. When it's filled with meaningful items that bring back memories and associations that are peaceful or sacred, just sitting there is a balm for the soul. Most people have special pictures, objects, fragrances, candles, or music that support peace. But sometimes we forget about the power of these important resources. At 40 something, a woman who attended one of the weekend spiritual gatherings that my retreat partner, Elizabeth Lawrence, and I facilitated, wandered into the Catholic church attached to the retreat center where we were meeting. Late on a Saturday night, Mass was over, but the familiar heady fragrance of incense lingered in the still air. Although the woman was a religious dropout who hadn't attended Mass in years, the smell brought back associations of peace. She felt comforted, blessed, and lifted beyond the strains of everyday life. The old smells of childhood worship elicited a deep tranquility she had not experienced for years. Although the woman was no longer interested in organized religion, she decided to purchase some of the incense and burn it in a quiet corner of her bedroom that she planned to set aside for inspirational reading, prayer, and meditation. This became her refuge in a busy world. Any items, sacred or secular, can become power objects for peace. For example, a friend of mine is a fly fisherman. It is his favorite way to relax. The sights and sounds of nature, the flowing water, and the opportunity to focus intently on the habits of fish fill him with calmness. Fishing, he tells me, is a spiritual experience. His home is filled with fly fishing memorabilia. To him, the sight of a frame filled with flies he has tied, pictures of his favorite fishing spots, and even a reading lamp in a fishing motif transport him back to the comfort of nature. The workbench where he ties his flies is the most peaceful place in his home. He goes there often, just for silent reflection and respite from his busy day. People often save little talisman associated with peaceful or uplifting experiences. I have a collection of feathers. Some of them were found, while others were gifts. They are especially meaningful because of a night and a day that I spent praying on a sacred mountain. By morning, I had an intense migraine and headache. The pain and nausea became so almost unbearable as the hot sun of the South Dakota summer beat down relentlessly. I had made an argument with the Lakota medicine man, who was my spiritual guide, to stay on the mountain until late afternoon. So even though I was too sick to do much praying, I was determined to at least honor the commitment. At one point, I was huddled miserably on the bed of sage that covered the ground outside the altar in which I was resting. My dehydrated body shook with dry heaves. Suddenly, the rush of enormous wings broke the air, and an eagle landed by my side, fanning me and bringing me courage. Since that day, feathers have become precious objects, and I often find one when I'm feeling stressed. I've heard that if you see feathers around you, that means angels are with you. A silver feather necklace has become a portable refuge. Just holding it transports me back to that magic moment on the mountain when I realized we are. A picture of an eagle over my desk brings tranquility and inspiration amidst the intensity of ringing telephones and fax machines, reports to write and correspondence to answer. A beautiful prayer basket in the corner of the room holds people's requests for help. It is a potent reminder of how important it is to love one another. A small statue of Kuan Yin, the Chinese Bodhisattva of compassion, silently watches over everything. A Greek Orthodox friend of mine has a little altar in her living room that holds several precious icons. These spiritual paintings, she says, are like doorways to divine realms. Each one carries its own unique power to uplift, heal, and inspire. Pictures of gods and saints, family and friends, statues and paintings, meditation cushions, prayer shawls, special books and journals, music, and candles or prayer books can all be part of your refuge corner. To get a little area that is your sanctuary that makes you feel good. With the smells that you like, smells invigorate our senses and they can bring so much peace or unpeace, right? Disharmony. It depends what it is. It depends what the smell is. Some smells that remind me of like my exes or something. Those are uncomfortable smells to me. I don't like those. This week, think about the things that bring you spiritual comfort. Create a sacred space in your home, even if it's just a small nook. Make sure that every object you place there is intensely meaningful so that the power of the place remains undiluted by clutter. Less is definitely more. Once you've created your refuge, use it for only peaceful activities. Doing your taxes there will imbue it with an entirely different set of associations. If you invest a few minutes a day visiting your refuge, you will experience increased peace all day long. You can take that tranquility with you by carrying one of the sacred objects in your pocket or purse. If you have severe anxiety, one of my suggestions is to get a worry stone. You could keep right in your pocket, and you could feel like sometimes you could just rub the smoothness of the stone and put a little imprint of your finger in there. They're very beautiful worry stones, and they can help so much with anxiety. But as we read last night in uh, Practicing Peace in Times of War, that breathing is of utmost importance to maintain the peace, to sit in the space of uncomfortableness and remain open just by breathing in and letting it go. So you guys have a blessed and beautiful day. I've got things to do today. I may come back and read One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. I'm not sure if I'm leaving at 7:30 today, but I got a busy week this week, and I do want to do One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. So I thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you all have a blessed and beautiful day, and you focus on balancing self-care and care for others. I don't want to say just only care about yourself. That's ego-minded. But you have to care about yourself enough that you're not exerting all of your energy to everyone else to the point that it's debilitating you and making you sick. So I love you all so much. I'm so very proud of us. And you guys go out there and have a beautiful day. And don't forget to shine because you deserve it and you're worth it. Have a beautiful day.